Hey everyone, and Jim here, and today we are going to be continuing our Axis and Allies World War I on a 1940 map. And last episode we started round 1, which had some very interesting occurrences that happened there. And again, just experimenting with this board here. You can see we have the Pacific Theater over there, which the Germans don't seem to be doing really good at. And the front lines are now being drawn here in Europe. And Africa has basically been liberated at this present time. And the Central Powers, I'd say it's still a little too early to guess on who might win, who might lose. It's a little too early to do that yet, so as for the sake of time, I'm thinking that we just stop talking and start the round. Alright, Austria-Hungary, let's go. Alright, Austria-Hungary's turn is now over. And let's get in here real quick. Over here on the Russian line, we have officially secured the Serbia. Still can't pronounce it right. And we have also taken Eastern Poland. So we're pushing back the Russians slowly but surely. Heavy numbers. And since it is round 2, Italy is now in the war. And Austria-Hungary has now invaded northern Italy. However, Italy put up a really strong defense. They knocked out a lot of our infantrymen in this round. So we're gonna have to take these guys and reinforce them, or we're gonna have to take these guys here, reinforce them there. But otherwise, Austria-Hungary is doing really good for itself. Alright, let's see what the Russians have to do about this front line of theirs. Alright, taking a look at the Russians' end turn. And I'm over here on the other side of the board, just so as to... it's easier this way. Okay, so now that Russia has access to fighters, we are kind of relying on air supremacy to help us with the ongoing Austrian-Hungary troops. Now our first thing here, let's see, oh yes. The Baltic states right here. We are beating the Germans back. However, judging by this guy right here, we are going to have one hell of a time in having these two right here also. It's a tricky situation right here on the north. And we did send the units from Ukraine over to Barbaresida, and we completely failed. But we took some infantrymen with us. And we are also over here in the Caucasus, fighting on this one artillery unit, stopping the Ottoman Empire from moving any further north into Russia. So as long as these guys stay there, we're all good. So Russia is in a good position right now. However, I am really concerned about these two guys right here. Very concerned. However, let's hope that these fighters will pull through for us. Alright, let's see what Germany has in store. Alright, Germany had a very interesting move this round. First of all, over here in the Russian front, the Germans have taken the Baltic states, which puts a real buffer on the Russians trying to defend. And hopefully we don't get to the point where the Russian Revolution happens, because if that does, we lose a major power for the Allies. And as for over here, on the French side, Germans have been able to push back the French forces out of Western Germany with a huge reinforcement number. However, with what's coming, I am sure that that is going to soon be depleted and need reinforcements yet again. And we just had a huge sea battle right over here. Start over here. We can see that the cruiser has taken out the Russian battleship. No, not much there. These are newly purchased with the cruiser and submarine all ramped up and ready to go. Over here was the big battle for the Scotland Sea zone. I think the British had a battleship and a cruiser, and we had a battleship and a submarine. It was 50-50 all the way, to the point where both of our battleships were damaged, and we ended up having to take away both of our cruiser and submarine. So then it was a one-on-one fight between two damaged battleships. But ours eventually came up on top, but because it is damaged, I'm pretty sure that the French, or this cruiser right up here, is going to easily come in and wipe that out. Which is disappointing, but we have basically destroyed the majority of the British Navy, even though we know that they could most likely just rebuild it anyway. Huge victory on our part, for the most part. We're gaining ground, we're holding ground. Germany is doing really well. Let's see how the French deal with the German situation. Alright, France's turn this round was short, sweet, and simple. First off, I'd like to point out that we moved this battleship from southern over to here to help reinforce Britain right here. And as for the Battle of Western Germany, pretty much the remainder of all of our troops are now in Western Germany. All except that little loner over there. And I gotta say, every single dice that was rolled in this battle, every single roll was a hit, which kind of amazed me because that has never happened yet. Germany got completely wiped out. I mean, look at that, just one artillery left up against, let's see, 3, 4, 5. 5 artillery, 1 infantry, and the artillery has air supremacy. And over here in Berlin, all Germany has is 3 infantry and 2 fighters. 1, I think, is planned for the Russian front, but I'm pretty sure that's going to be now heading towards Western Germany. Because, I mean, to be honest, Germany's in a good position over here. They need to start concentrating on this threat over here. Because if France captures this, well then Berlin is being threatened and could possibly end the war sooner than might be expected. Alright, so France is looking really good in this second round. I am starting to do the research and development for armor and tanks. Because if I'm correct, each round here kind of counts as a year. So next round would be 1916, which is when the first tanks were introduced. So next round should be really interesting if we get anybody with tanks. Alright, let's see who is up next. Britain, what are you gonna do about this navy over here? Alright, Britain is now ended its turn. First off, up here by the United Kingdom, we took the cruiser that was right here, put it in there to battle against the battleship. Unfortunately, we lost the cruiser, but we also took out the battleship as well. And because of how well the French are doing on their own, we are taking this opportunity to rebuild our navy. So, and I think we have enough infantry here to defend ourselves in case of a potential German invasion. However, over here in Africa, we are beginning to move our forces from southern Africa up to Egypt so that they could be sent over here to the Ottoman Empire front. And we decided to screw it and go ahead and attack Syria. However, it didn't really end that well, but it is contested, so we have the Turkish Empire, or the Ottoman Empire, on hold. And over here, we tried out to amphibious assault Iraq, which completely failed, but we did take 1 infantryman with us. And so ends the British turn. And now let's see what the Ottoman Empire has to say with this British. Alright, for how well the Ottoman Empire has been doing, they have been doing really well. I mean, look at that stack right there. That is what? 13 infantrymen against this. So, I'm pretty sure the British is going to call in the Italians and the French to all come this way to help deal with this. And as long as they control Turkey, they're just going to keep reinforcing this guy right here. However, oh yeah, and by the way, the Ottoman Empire completely wiped out our entire attack force. So Assyria was a complete disaster. And over here, we have... these two are still in contest, so nothing's changed over there. That is it for the Ottoman Empire, and now it is time to... the Italians' turn. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I thought Italy would be a pushover for Austria, but it turns out that the Italians have pushed the Austria-Hungarian forces out of northern Italy, and they have taken out all of Austria's naval forces and have also blockaded their main naval base from building any further ships. So, yeah, Italy seems to be proving its worth, as well as it's starting to move its men towards Cairo to help assist with the British. Yeah. So Italians and French. Looks like this side of the European theater is a real struggle for the Central Powers. Gotta tell you that. Alright, so with all of this being said, we can now move over here and take America. Let's move this down to 2. 2 more rounds and America's in the war. Alright, now it is time to continue the Pacific War. Alright, this was a really short round for the Japanese. Let's go over here to Shantung, where we have now defeated the Germans and are continuing the Japanese push for Japanese influence in China, because that was also another thing that the Japanese were trying to do, was to influence their culture more into China, and World War I gave them more of an opportunity for that. And over here I got a ton of transports ready to go. I'm mobilizing my naval forces out to the islands that we need to take. Obviously, first stop is the Marianas, and then we're going to go over to the Marshall. And then just push our way down until we get to New Guinea and New Britain. So with the end of the Japanese turn, we have now ended round 2 of our World War I scenario on the Axis and Allies 1940 2nd edition game board. Be sure to hit that like button if you enjoy. And if you have a suggestion for a future war or a scenario that you would like me to perform, whether it be big or small, leave a comment down below and I will definitely take your suggestions. And of course, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more future content of mine. And this is it. Time for round 3. I will see you then.